Hey everyone, we are live and this is The Real and Raw with Lynn and Brian. We'll be right back to talk about ways to break out of your rut. Rut row. Hey, I do have a co-host today. There he is. Hey
What's up?
Brian, welcome to our show here.
Hey, hey.
Welcome everybody. Today we're talking about ways to break out of your rut. And Um, it's an interesting topic and one that hits home to me a lot as far as being in a rut or getting your way into things. So um, we actually got the idea from an article, and we've got about 11 to touch by really, really quick. And we'll have the little thing at the end, which I feel disorganized today. And hate to say it, but we have a message and something to share with you guys at the end of the show. So stay tuned, or if not, you'll be a little lost. So right now we're talking about ways to break out of the rut, and I'm trying to find my little image here. I didn't upload my image. Ugh, I thought I uploaded my little image here. Here we go. We're going to be talking about these really quick. And those are it. That's a cheat sheet, but that's for later. Anyhow, so how you doing, Brian?
I'm okay. I think it's a really good topic. As people, depending on where you live in the country, are might be hibernating a little bit more given the season change. But I think it's very good if you are suffering. I mean, we're all dealing with something in life, but you can deal with it, and you don't have to sit there and wish it and hope it'll go away on its own. Which we all know it won't, but we just may not have access to how we can move to the next level.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, this is going to be a very interesting show for me and for Brian, and we'll explain a little bit at the end, but for right now, we're going to go through ways to break through out of your rut. And we do have quite a few people here, so I might skip and go really quick into the fact that
Yeah.
Brian and I are this is going to be our last show for a little while. We don't know when it'll pick up. I'm working on the big project is I'm working on having on my own network, and I have investors and different people. So I'm taking an executive position here right now. So I'm working on to see what they want. I mean, if people are funding you, got to deal with what they want. So this is going to give me a little time to have my perspective, get my ground down and whatnot. So this far as being in a rut situation is a good topic for us because it's just where we're at right now. It's a,
Hey,
it's a
Scott.
rut. It's a rut row. So Scott, thank you for being here. Tammy, thank you for being here. And Josephina, I love you too. So thank you guys for saying hi. And so this and plus there's a new moon coming out and stuff. So I think that like things are happening in the universe too. But I do believe that things happen for a reason, and they happen whenever they happen and whatever, and things collapse. So the first thing as far as it getting out of the rut is accept the situation. So and accepting the situation basically is okay, this is where it is because of whatever actions or whatever we did or whatever. And so we know there's a problem first, right? But we got to acknowledge where we're at or how we could have done things different or whatever. What's your
Mhm.
opinion on that?
Sure, I think that this is if you don't identify it, I mean, that's the next one, but it is what it is. And if you don't acknowledge it, it's not going to go you're not going to be able to get to the end of the 11 steps.
Mhm.
So call it what it is, right? There's always a lesson to be learned in every situation, right? But I think also though you need to disconnect the emotion from the actual situation
Yeah.
because most people want to make themselves wrong for it. And that's definitely not
Right.
what happened is what happened,
Yeah, and
but
we're
you
we're
don't
going
make
through
it.
the steps. So yep. So we're roll along here because we got a short amount of time, but
Yep.
dig a little deeper. Yep, identify the cause, identify what it is that caused that, and you know, and we all want to be heard, and we all like things to be the way we want to, but we got to realize if we want everything to be the way we want to, the person next to us, how can they have it their way that they want to? Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose in the situation.
Right.
Is really
I
what it
mean,
comes down to.
we're all human beings. We make mistakes. We learn from them. I think that the harder the lessons, the more that we learn. But I mean, we're human beings.
Yep,
So it's show your humanness. And if you don't, well, then you're really, I think you're being inauthentic with yourself and with the world. If, hey, we're all flawed human beings. We work at it every day. But if you're not vulnerable, I don't think you can feel anything and then learn what it is.
absolutely. I wanna recognize Jerry here. Thank you, Jerry, for being here. When you fall in a hole, understand why, and never fall in the same hole again. I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. And then I want to acknowledge at the beginning here too that I want to thank Scott for his comment here as far as yeah, you never or he's been waiting for us for a week, but
Right.
just to let you know, we love you, and this is going to be our last show for a little bit, but we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. Okay, so then we go to check your goals. Take a closer look at your goals. It's like what are your goals for the whole thing? Because starting and just going to be heard or do anything, you do have to have a goal, and then you're like, how do I get through those goals? And sometimes you can't do things by yourself. You got to rely on somebody else,
Right.
which don't lose your integrity or don't lose who you are, but you also got to realize that treat people like you want to be treated,
Hmm.
you know. And so goals are like, nobody achieves a goal without somebody or something.
Hmm.
Nobody. I mean, you can always think you could do something by yourself, but sometimes you can't. Like whether you want to climb a mountain, you need to use your legs, but you might use an exercise bike, or you might use an equipment. I mean, there's something to condition you to get you where, because trust me, as an introvert, I've wanted to do a lot of things by myself and realize I can't. you know. And your feedback on that, Brian?
I would say to reverse engineer, it's like, why are you doing this in the first place? You know, for you to not consider that there's going to be setbacks and roadblocks, and you're going to question why you're even doing it in the first place. You're just setting yourself up for failure, because those will happen. That is a part of the process. Especially the bigger the game that you're playing, the more that's going to happen. The more
Right.
that's at stake, but the more that you grow into where you want to be and who you want to be. But
Right.
reverse engineering the outcome is what you want to get is kind of like that mountain that you want to summit one day, you
Right.
know, and to get there is not always going to be easy.
Right. And you brought it right into perfect as far as start small and
Yeah.
make small changes. And small changes do come when you have people around that love you and care for you and give you feedback and try to help you to help yourself.
Hmm.
Like I said, when we're too close to any situation, sometimes we don't realize what steps need to be taken. Like, a baby, they can't run before they walk. And when they run, what happens? They fall right on their face. So then you got to step back and take smaller, steps to that way,
Hmm.
which comes to take care and remember self-care. And self-care means make sure that you're coming from a healthy place of not anger of something else, that just because something else happened, this happened, you get mad, or things like that. You have to realize that we are human and we all make mistakes, but when you keep making the same mistakes, or not being considerate or things like that, it starts with us always. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
Yeah.
So, and your feedback on that one?
I think it's also to get clarity on what it is. I mean, you can be ready to do the work, but if somebody's not willing to share with you what it is, or just be honest and upfront. I mean, if somebody's asking for a critique, or what they did wrong so they can improve, I think that that's also needed to make it whole complete, right? And if somebody's not willing to share that information, well, you only can go so far,
Right.
right? Obviously, it's one person's perception of what happened, but it's like whoever was affected by it, it's like, okay, if I don't have that perception, I can ask for it, but if I'm not given it, there's only so much I can do.
No, but you got to have your mind open to maybe see it or empathize or see it from a different angle,
Right.
because halfway, if I'm holding this and I've only got an F for Fuji, but you don't know it's Fuji, you just see a F and you see it like that, you're gonna think this is an F bottle. But you gotta say, hey, let me hold the bottle the way you're doing it, and then see what you see and say, oh, I never saw it that way.
Right. Well, it's also
So
about that's what I'm saying, is being on the same page.
right,
If
right,
somebody doesn't think like another person, they're not going to get it. But the more connected that those two people are, you can bridge that gap of indifference or whatever
right.
that is.
Well, yeah, for sure. Unfocus and give your brain a break. And sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to
Mhm.
stop, like get away from the situation so that mostly you don't regret. You don't
Mhm.
regret, burning bridges or anything like that. I want to say hi to Charles,
Hey,
and
Charles.
Charles is saying hi to everybody else. And so, yeah. So then let's see. I've got to go back to where did I leave off here? Unfocus our brain. So, yeah, just going back. And so, here I'm always in this point too. Embrace impulse and be more impulsive. Gets a bad reputation. Sure, some impulse actions carry risks, but plenty of them are perfectly safe and beneficial. And I think usually the first impulse is the best. And then when you think about it too much, sometimes it's already too late. Like driving down that road and saying, shit, I should have taken a right. Now I'm going to keep going. When you had, so listen to the voice of reason within yourself to take them embrace. But when in doubt, don't, because then it's already too late.
Right.
And I learned that when I was a peace officer. They're like, when in doubt, don't, man. Besides, it would cost me a lot of paperwork. So I kept that in mind a lot. So, and then get real, approach things realistically. And what do you have anything to say about that?
Uh, whatever's having in the moment, it's causing your emotions or causing a heightened, nervousness or whatever, it'll pass, right?
Mhm.
And I think that the best thing is the previous tip, right? Is that the moment will pass, but it's magnified. There's a dopamine hit. There's, the fight or flight, has been has been triggered, right?
Mhm.
And so, but when you pretty much like what I'm saying is to do nothing in that moment, right? Because more than likely what's happening is in your brain, but it might not be happening out in the world, right? And you're making all of this meaning about what is because it's the lens you're looking through is the one that's triggered. But until you calm down, maybe take a break, you're not going to see what is really happening. And life is just continuing to go by.
Exactly. Exactly. And let's see. And then forget perfection. Break away from perfectionism. And now that's something I've been working about lately, especially trying to build my own network. And I realized, shoot, I want to have a lot of co-hosts. I want to have a lot of people in this network. And I realized one thing I hadn't been doing all along, Brian, is like I have to do more blogs by myself. I have to let the audience know who I am so that they know why I appreciate you and other people that I
Mhm.
have my show with. So I have to cultivate who I am and why and how I think and where it goes there to show my stability of who I am because I do things totally different than other people. I mean, you
Mhm.
don't find many people that when they're going through a divorce with somebody you have to have an order of protection to, and you're being nice and say, don't pay the child support, just pay the mortgage, which is $300 cheaper. People say, why do you do that? I'm like, for me, it's a matter of principle. It's a
Mhm.
matter of, I don't want to screw a guy over because most guys get screwed over in child support situations. So,
Mhm.
so what I'm saying is until people know me, they can see that my mindset and the way I work and my emotions, that when they can understand me, then maybe they can see something in somebody else so that they can understand why I relate to them. And
Right.
I haven't been that vulnerable or forward with people to understand that. So I'm reverse engineering going, okay, let's go back to who Lynn is, on the show and going forward and then picking it up and then picking up the pieces and going collectively. So that's also another part of why our show is going to stop for a little bit and it has nothing to do with you, but it has stuff to do with me and my personal triggers. So,
Mhm.
um, but check your feelings and recognize it when it's not just a rut.
Mhm.
You gotta. I mean, like Brian, I think this topic is like just perfect for us right now. I mean, because I'm able to explain to you, a little bit of what I'm going through, and explain that I am trying. I'm a peacemaker. I'm a lover, and sometimes it's not easy to be who I am
Mhm.
because, and it comes down to judge not ye not judge. I've judged people. I try not to judge people. I have a simple. I love everybody. I'm going to forgive everybody and I can't hold that stuff down. I mean, I forgive everybody and I don't have that animosity after a while. I mean, I vent it out first, but then I let it go because my focus is easy. Love everybody. regardless of who they are. And that's just ingrained in me. I have Stockholm syndrome. I've had to love a lot of people that have done wrong to me. I had no choice to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I have a different take than you would.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so again, it's just explaining where we're at and where, and so I think this is just a great thing. And so then I added an extra one here, and that's to reach out and get support, or reach out or no, I have another one that I didn't put in here, and that's pretty much the last one would be is the if it's not working right now, just let go for right now, because you have to, if when you have a problem with anybody, it's something about you, it's not about them. And that's one thing we do have to remember. It's about us. And then don't make it about them. So then you got to have to, what is it about that bothers you,
Mm-hmm.
And so, but anyhow, what's your take on all that?
Well, there's a lot there. I disagree that it's all on us. Especially when there is no communication, with the situation or any clarity, right?
Yeah.
There's only so much that we can do to figure out something that we have an opinion of things, and we're entitled to that opinion. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, but to bridge that difference, whatever it might be. And if somebody's not allowing to give us that, we can only go so far, right? If we're able to admit that we were wrong, we're in a rut, we didn't do things that we were going to do, the first thing you can do is admit to it. But if somebody's not going to give you the time of day, there's only so much you can do. Like, if you're going to be the bigger man, that's only going to go so far unless somebody wants to give you clarity, because we can't read minds. It doesn't
Right.
work,
No.
So,
But again, when you got two people that feel like they're in the right, or you can look at it from two different ways, in any situation, everybody's right because they're right in their own feelings, right?
Right.
So being right in your own feelings makes somebody wrong, that depending on which way you're looking at it or whatever.
Well,
But that's what's wrong with the world right now, is what I'm
right.
saying. That's what's wrong with the
I'd be
world.
willing to say is that, you can agree to disagree, right? But at
Right.
least you've communicated what that is, so it's civil, right?
Right.
Versus,
Right.
like, I have my view, it's my view, and I don't want to hear any other views. Well, okay, but is that really civil? Does that really make it better for the world? No,
Right.
you know?
No. But again, sometimes that's why a breakaway, as far as just letting everybody chill out, simmer,
Mhm.
and also see the big picture, that do you really hold all that against the person, or do you really feel that it doesn't jive with you, or it does jive with
Right.
you? But you also got to see the signs that when you have a little friction or anything with somebody, that there's got to be something within yourself that you either got to accept or reject, and go on for your
Mhm.
own personal health issues.
Right.
So I think as far as all these tips, I'm going to bring that back up here. I think these tips are great. We're going to probably end up the show here in a few minutes,
Mhm.
but I do want to thank everybody and he put here, Rittenhouse not guilty of all charges. Okay. So again, and in a civil matter like that, you just bring all the evidence. And I've actually been on mock juries where I've thought, oh yeah, that person sounds guilty, and then you get all the evidence of like, no, that person's not guilty, or oh my gosh, I can see how this can be all misconstrued.
Mhm.
you know and that is life. It's hard to communicate with people, and I've always had a hard time with that, and I'm not
Yep.
going to lie about that. I personally am trying to work on that myself. And but right now I figured that's why I take door number 5, just peace and love everybody. Then I can just forgive everything and wash it away and then go on. So
Mhm.
but online, on camera, Brian, I really enjoy our chemistry here. There's no doubt about it.
Mhm.
So I thank you for that. I thank you for always having great feedback and great contributing on our
Mhm.
show here. So we want to wish you guys happy Thanksgiving. Right? Happy Thanksgiving. We want to do
Yeah, I
for next
mean,
week.
whatever you
And
have planned, whoever you're with, enjoy it to the fullest. With the world the way it is, we don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment. So enjoy it, spend as much time as you can, and soak up all the memories that you can create.
absolutely. And I couldn't have said it any better. And oh, she says, have a good one. I have some training. Bye, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy.
So again, I love doing the shows here. We do have YouTube. We're living live with we have like over 100 shows, Brian. We have like lots of shows there. So I do still have people on the thing there. As they pop up, especially come January, they're going to be a 1-year anniversary thing, and I'm going to play them on my wall. So that'll be awesome too. So even though we're taking this little break right now, you'll see the reruns. It'll be there. So, and it'll make everybody fall in love with us over again. So I just want to wish everybody a good day. Happy Friday. And we will talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned. Bye.